I remember they made me eat Spam one time as a kid, and now I don't really like ham. See, what had happened was, right, I was okay, like I was a rambunctious child, you know. Some might say hyper, of course, you know. Adults wouldn't. They wouldn't say hyper. They would say too much. I was too much. Back in the day, there wasn't no ADHD, autism. Nah, there was not. Nah, you were just crazy. So at one point, they was like, no sugar. I can't have no sugar. But at that time, they also thought that I was allergic to yeast. I don't know if you know how many things have sugar and yeast in them, but it's a lot. At this time, I was also going to a school called FSDB, Florida School for the Deaf and Blind. I have a lot of stories about that school. You ever seen a deaf person and a blind person fight? I have. It's hilarious. Anyway, it was a boarding school for the most part. You went all week, you boarded, and then some people went home on the weekends. The food, for the most part, was actually good, but it wasn't like, there was no allergies or nothing like that. So I couldn't have sugar or yeast or milk, which meant that if I got a hot dog, I couldn't have the bread, I couldn't have the ketchup or mustard. So a plain boiled hot dog, that's what I got. All the other kids is eating full hot dogs. I'm eating a dick that's been stirred around in some hot water for 5 minutes. That's that bullshit. So one day I was excited because we were having pizza, I think. Since it didn't happen that often, the rule was that I could have pizza on pizza day. We got to the cafeteria. I'm happy. I got my tray. I'm smiling, and we all dancing in line and shit. Pizza. No pizza. It was no pizza. They had changed it, and now it was chicken sandwich day. Now, don't get me wrong. I love a chicken sandwich, but the chicken sandwich had breading on it. What's in breading? Yeast and flour. Since the chicken sandwiches were not pizza, I could not partake. And since the chicken sandwiches were basically the next day's meal, because the pizza went wrong, they didn't really have shit for me prepared. So they put a piece of wet Spam square on a plate and gave it to me. I did not react well. But why? No. And then as an apology, because they didn't have pizza for dessert, it was peach cobbler. Now, obviously, I couldn't have the peach cobbler because bread and sugar. But they tried to console me. They said that instead of the peach cobbler, what I could have was a stick of sugar-free gum. But I had to finish my Spam to get that gum. I remember it like it was yesterday. No, for real. Like all of y'all, I want y'all to come in close. Fuck each and every one of you. I'm not eating this. Fuck you. I'm not paraphrasing. I was cursing at these motherfuckers. My friend Eddie, munching down on his damn chicken sandwich, looked at me knowing full well he's almost completely blind and was like, damn, I can't see this shit, but it sure do taste good. That's why your eyes don't work, you lanky bastard. One of the dorm teachers that I liked tried to, come in and help me. He was like, Nate, you can't leave until you eat this. And if you don't eat this, you can't get this stick of sugar-free gum. You're a bitch. I was 9. I didn't have a large vocabulary. Dinner, I believe, was at like 7. And it was midnight, and I was still sitting in that damn cafeteria by myself with this wet-ass piece of fucking Spam. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also have Brussels sprouts. Fuck you. I never did eat that motherfucking Spam. I never ate it. At about 1 a.m., they let me go to bed. A few years later, we figured out that I'm not allergic to yeast or sugar. I'm just crazy. Cheese does kind of make me, pee out my butt, but if you touch the cheese on my pizza, I'm gonna kill you. Because of that, I cannot look at Spam at all. And I can't even look at ham because they used to do the same thing with ham in that same square. I'll fuck up every last part of the pig. But for some reason, I cannot do ham because them hoes thought I was allergic to sugar and they tried to give me a wet piece of fucking Spam. FSDBD's nuts.